In my entire medical life, I have been a person who has to finish their charts at the end of the day. Because I concentrate on my patients and I'll make a few notes, and then I have this big stack of charts that I have to carry to my office and then finish the notes. And we don't take the charts out of the office. In the very olden days, in the 80s and 90s, I used to lug them in a great big Lands End bag home, do them, and then bring them back to the office. But then of course we stopped taking them out of the office. That wasn't very safe, you know, for security and those sorts of things. And so I would have to stay until I finished my charts. So it was usually an hour, 2 hours, or else I would go home and then come early in the morning, an hour or two before the day, to finish the charts from the day before. And now, even if I'm not quite finished with my notes, the templates that we use make it so easy to document quickly in the room and with the patient. I'm almost finished with all my notes by the time I go home, and I just go home with my laptop and I can finish them or touch them up or whatever I need to do. Maybe takes me 30 minutes to finish my work every day. So much different workflow for me. I don't have to be stuck in a place for many more hours than I need to be. As a practice owner, I've had a significant decrease in the number of staff members per FTE position since EHR. We were at about 15 staff, and now we're at 11. And we have plenty of staff. You know, we're not short-staffed. People are busy, but and not sitting around, but not overly busy. We don't have overtime, except very rarely. The staff's just much more efficient. There's so many things that we don't have to do anymore that are done with our EHR. We don't have to pull charts. We don't have to put them back. We don't have to file. We don't have to do a lot of things that make it much easier, much more efficient for everybody. We used to have charts. Yes, one of the biggest things was chart hunt. You know, the charts were always lost, and there were many charts that were elusive. They would always be lost. And so people, if there was one person probably every day who spent hours and hours and hours searching for charts, we don't have to worry about that because they're all right here in our fingertips. And I don't have to, if I'm in a room and a mom asks me, you know, is my child up to date with immunizations? I say, oh, let me check. And I just click, click, and I'm in the child's chart. Oh, he's fine. Or, oh, you know what, we should make an appointment. And before I would have to say, well, I'll have to call you later because I'll have to find the chart. So I have to make a piece of paper, put the number, put the name on it, ask somebody to pull the chart for me, review the chart, then give a message back to somebody else to do it. And I've done the whole thing, you know, in less than a minute usually. Our productivity has increased tremendously since EHR, which was something we hadn't really even counted on or thought about. But I used to see about 20 patients a day, 22 patients a day, and I easily see 26, 27, 28 patients a day. 30 is really not too bad. And with just the quicker documentation, we don't have to be thumbing through our charts to find things. We have things pulled into our templates, and so they're right at our fingertips. And so the documentation is so much quicker. We can spend the quality time with the patient and then move on to the next patient and don't have to spend as much time on the paperwork in between. We do electronic prescribing for our patients, and that is very efficient. We can renew the prescriptions. It keeps a good record of the renewal in our chart. It probably takes about 10 seconds. My patients love electronic prescribing. They say, I just love your magic, as they call it, because I'll say, which pharmacy would you like me to send this to? And they'll tell me, and we look it up, and then we send it. I said, it's gone, and it's there. And so we have very few problems with electronic prescribing, and it's certainly made our life lots easier. We tried to plan ahead as much as we could for the very first day. We put banners up encouraging people, and we had cinnamon rolls or sticky buns, I think one of the doctors brought, and we were not knowing anything about what to expect. So it was like going into much of a black hole. We knew a little bit about our EHR. We'd been doing configuration for several months, but we'd really never used it with patients, and we actually jumped in totally on one day. So it was a little bit chaotic. Everybody asking questions. The trainer was here. Half of us were the doctors were doing things traditionally, and the reception staff was doing things on Practice Partner. And so it wasn't until later in the week that the doctors started actually using the EHR, maybe the second day or the third day. So, but there was an air of excitement in the office, I think, and I didn't see one frown. I didn't see one tear. A little bit of hair pulling, but other than that, it was a very fun experience. We were all exhausted by the end of the day, but we got through it. Several people were a little bit reluctant along the way, you know, and we just drug them along with us because that's where we were going, and everybody went the same direction. And the reluctant people eventually became comfortable with the EHR and are totally a part of it. None of those people did we lose along the way.